When millionaire Ethan Caldwell boarded his private helicopter that morning, he expected a routine 15-minute flight to his estate. What he didn't expect was to hear his own name introduced by the 19-year-old pilot sitting in front of him, a young man with his exact face, his same scar, and eyes that mirrored his own. One emergency landing later, Ethan would come face to face with the woman he abandoned 19 years ago, the woman who'd been carrying his child when he walked away. Maya Brooks had spent nearly 2 decades building a life without him, raising their son alone, and burying a love that refused to die. Now, with the truth exploding between them at 30,000 feet, 3 lives are about to collide in ways none of them saw coming. Because some secrets don't stay buried, they just wait for the perfect moment to tear your world apart. If you want to know whether love can survive 19 years of silence, betrayal, and a son caught in the middle, hit that subscribe button right now and comment where you're watching from, because this story is about to take off and you won't want to miss the landing. The helicopter blades cut through the morning sky like scissors through silk. Inside the cockpit, 19-year-old Ethan Brooks adjusted his headset and checked the instruments one more time. Everything looked perfect. The sky was clear. The wind was calm. Today would be a good day. He heard footsteps on the tarmac below. His passenger was arriving. Ethan straightened his uniform and took a deep breath. This was his biggest client yet. Mr. Caldwell owned half the buildings in Ocean View City. People said he was cold, mean even, but Ethan didn't care about rumors. He cared about flying. The door opened. A man in an expensive suit climbed aboard. He was tall, maybe in his early 30s, with dark hair and tired eyes. He barely looked at Ethan, just pulled out his phone and started typing. "Good afternoon, Mr. Caldwell." Ethan kept his voice professional, friendly. "I'm Ethan Caldwell Jr., and I'll be your pilot today." The man's fingers stopped moving. He looked up slowly. His face went pale. "What did you say your name was?" "Ethan Caldwell Jr., sir." The phone slipped from the man's hand. It clattered against the floor. Neither of them moved to pick it up. Ethan watched his passenger stare at him. Really stare, like he was looking at a ghost. The man's eyes traveled across Ethan's face, his jawline, his nose, the small scar above his left eyebrow. "Where did you get that scar?" The man's voice came out rough, shaky. Ethan touched the mark without thinking. "Fell off my bike when I was 7. Hit a mailbox." He smiled a little. "Mom says I've always been too brave for my own good." The man looked like someone had punched him in the stomach. He leaned back in his seat. His breathing changed. "Sir, are you all right? Should I delay the flight?" "No." The word came out sharp, then softer. "No. Let's go. I need to get home." Ethan nodded and turned back to the controls. Something felt wrong, but he couldn't figure out what. He'd introduced himself to dozens of passengers before. None of them had ever reacted like this. He started the engine. The blades spun faster. The helicopter lifted off the ground, smooth and steady. Ocean View City spread out beneath them. The harbor, the beaches, the downtown buildings shining in the afternoon sun. Ethan loved this part. The moment when earth fell away and sky opened up. Up here, everything made sense. Everything was simple. He glanced at the mirror. His passenger was still staring at him. Not at his phone, not out the window, just at Ethan's reflection. It made his skin prickle. "The flight should take about 15 minutes, sir. Weather's perfect today." No response, just those eyes. Watching, studying. Ethan focused on flying, but questions buzzed in his head like angry wasps. Why did Mr. Caldwell look at him like that? Why did his name matter? And why did the man seem so broken? The helicopter hit an air pocket, dropped suddenly. Ethan's stomach flipped. "Just a little turbulence," he called back. "Nothing to worry about." The aircraft jerked hard to the left. Warning lights flashed red across the dashboard. The engine made a sound it shouldn't make, a grinding, choking noise that sent ice through Ethan's veins. "What's happening?" Mr. Caldwell grabbed his seat. "I don't know." Ethan's hands flew across the controls. The stick fought him, pulled right when he pushed left. The altimeter was dropping, fast. Another violent shake. The cabin tilted. Through the window, Ethan saw the ocean rushing up to meet them. "Hold on!" He pulled back hard on the stick. His training kicked in. Shut down the failing engine. Restart the secondary. Adjust the pitch. Find somewhere to land. "There!" Mr. Caldwell pointed to a stretch of beach ahead. "Can you make it?" "I'm trying." The man unbuckled his seatbelt, climbed forward into the co-pilot seat. "What are you doing?" "Sit back down. I used to fly." Mr. Caldwell grabbed the secondary controls. "Tell me what you need." No time to argue. The ground was too close. Ethan rattled off instructions. Together they fought the dying helicopter. It was like wrestling with something alive, something angry. Mr. Caldwell's hands were steady. He knew what he was doing. Between the two of them, they managed to level out. The beach came up fast, too fast, but at least they were pointed in the right direction. The skids hit sand, bounced, hit again. The helicopter skidded sideways, throwing up clouds of grit and seawater. Metal screamed. Something in the back snapped. Then everything stopped. Ethan sat frozen, hands still on the controls. His heart hammered against his ribs. He was alive. They were alive. "You okay?" Mr. Caldwell's voice cut through the ringing in his ears. Yeah, I think so." Ethan looked over. "You?" "I'm fine." The man unstrapped himself. That was good flying. Under pressure like that, most pilots would have panicked. "You helped. We helped each other." Something passed across Mr. Caldwell's face. An emotion Ethan couldn't name. "Come on, let's get out before something catches fire." They climbed out onto the sand. The beach was empty except for a maintenance zone about 100 yards away. Industrial buildings, storage hangars, the heliport where Ethan worked. Mr. Caldwell pulled off his jacket, rolled up his sleeves. He looked different now. Younger, somehow. Less like a statue and more like a real person. "Your name?" he said suddenly. "Ethan Caldwell, Jr. Who's your father?" The question hit Ethan like cold water. "I don't have one. I mean, I never met him. It's just me and my mom." "And your mom's name? Why does it matter?" "Please." The man's voice cracked. "Just tell me." Ethan studied him. Something in those eyes, desperate, hungry, afraid, made him answer. Maya Brooks." Mr. Caldwell staggered. Actually staggered, like his legs forgot how to work. He pressed one hand against the helicopter to steady himself. "Maya," he whispered. The word sounded like a prayer, or maybe a curse. "You know her?" No answer. The man just stood there, staring at nothing. The waves crashed behind them. A seagull cried overhead. The whole world kept moving, but Mr. Caldwell had turned to stone. "Sir? Mr. Caldwell? Take me to the heliport." His voice came out flat, empty. Now. The walk felt longer than the flight. Neither of them spoke. Mr. Caldwell moved like a man heading toward his own execution. Ethan kept glancing at him, trying to understand. How did this stranger know his mother? And why did hearing her name destroy him? They reached the heliport's main hangar. The familiar smell of motor oil and metal wrapped around Ethan like a blanket. Home. He'd practically grown up here, playing between the aircraft while his mom worked. "Wait here," Ethan said. "I'll find my supervisor and report the—" "Where's Maya Brooks?" Mr. Caldwell grabbed his arm, not hard, but firm. "Where does she work?" "The maintenance bay, but—" The man was already walking, striding across the hangar floor like he owned it. Maybe he did. Ethan hurried to keep up. They found her bent over an engine, her dark curls tied back in a messy bun. She wore her usual oil-stained jumpsuit, tools hanging from her belt. Ethan's mom, the strongest person he knew. She looked up at the sound of footsteps. Her eyes found Mr. Caldwell. The wrench fell from her hand. It hit the concrete with a sharp clang that echoed through the hangar. "Ethan?" Her voice was barely a whisper. Mr. Caldwell stopped walking. "Maya." They stared at each other across 10 feet of empty space. Ethan looked between them. The air felt heavy, electric, like right before lightning strikes. "Mom?" He stepped forward. "You know him?" She didn't answer. Couldn't seem to look away from Mr. Caldwell. Her face had gone pale. Her hands shook. "Maya?" the man said again. "Is he—" He couldn't finish the question. "Junior?" His mom's voice came out stronger now, sharp. "Go check the inventory in Hangar 3, now." "But—" "Now!" He'd never heard that tone before. Ethan backed away, confused and hurt. His mom never yelled at him. Never. But the look in her eyes scared him more than the helicopter crash. He left. But he didn't go to Hangar 3. Instead, he ducked behind a tool cabinet where he could still see them. Still here. Mr. Caldwell moved closer to his mom. 19 years, he said. "He's 19 years old, isn't he?" "Don't!" She picked up her wrench, gripped it like a weapon. "Don't you dare! You never told me." His voice broke. "You had my son, and you never told me." "Your son?" She laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "You lost the right to call him that a long time ago." "I didn't know, Maya. I swear I didn't." "You didn't look back." The wrench hit the workbench. The bang made Ethan jump. "You walked away, and you never looked back. Not once." "That's not fair." "Fair?" His mom's eyes blazed. "You want to talk about fair? I was 19 years old, pregnant, alone. You were off playing businessman, and I was throwing up every morning wondering how I'd feed a baby. Mr. Caldwell flinched like she'd slapped him. I tried to find you. After graduation, I went back to... Save it. She turned away. I don't want to hear your excuses. They're not excuses. They're the truth. The truth? She spun back around. The truth is, you made your choice. I made mine. And my choice was to protect my son from a man who didn't want us. I wanted you. The words came out raw, painful. God, Maya, I wanted you so much it hurt. But you left. You vanished. What was I supposed to think? You were supposed to try harder. Her voice echoed off the walls. Other workers were watching now, pretending not to, but definitely listening. An older woman appeared from the office. She had kind eyes and grey hair pulled back in a neat bun. Clara, Ethan remembered, his mom's supervisor. All right, that's enough. Clara's voice was calm but firm. Both of you, take this somewhere private or take it home. You're making a scene. His mom's shoulders sagged. She looked suddenly exhausted. I'm sorry, Clara. I'll go home. Good idea. Clara glanced at Mr. Caldwell. You too, sir. Whatever this is, it's not getting solved today. Mr. Caldwell nodded slowly. He looked at Maya one more time. We're not done talking. Yes, we are. She grabbed her jacket and pushed past him. Ethan scrambled to follow her. She was already halfway to the parking lot by the time he caught up. Mom! Mom, wait! She stopped, turned. Her eyes were red. Who was that man? No one. She wiped her face. Just someone I used to know. He called me his son. The words hung in the air between them. His mom's face crumpled. She looked like she might cry, or scream, or both. Get in the car, Junior, please. We'll talk at home. They drove in silence. Ethan watched the familiar streets blur past. His whole life he'd never thought much about his father. His mom never talked about him. He'd assumed the man was dead, or gone, or didn't matter. But Mr. Caldwell wasn't dead, and he definitely wasn't gone. And the way he looked at Ethan, like he was seeing a miracle and a tragedy at the same time, that mattered. That mattered a lot. Their apartment was small but cozy. 2 bedrooms, a kitchen with yellow walls, and a living room that overlooked the ocean. Ethan had grown up here. Every corner held memories. His mom went straight to the kitchen, started pulling out ingredients for dinner. Her hands moved automatically, chopping vegetables, boiling water. She always cooked when she was upset. Ethan sat at the table, watched her work. Is he really my father? The knife stopped moving. Yes, just like that. After 19 years of questions he'd never asked, the answer was yes. Why didn't you tell me? I wanted to protect you. She kept her back to him. From disappointment, from rejection, from all the pain that man caused me. Did he hurt you? Not physically. She turned around. Her eyes were tired, sad. We were young. We loved each other. And then, life happened. He had to choose between me and his future, and he chose his future. So I chose mine. But I'm his son. Didn't I deserve to know? Maybe. She sat down across from him, took his hands. I made the best choice I could with what I knew, and maybe I was wrong. But Junior, I need you to understand. I did everything because I love you. Everything. He believed her. How could he not? She'd raised him alone, worked 2 jobs for years so he could have flying lessons. Never complained, never gave up. But still, a father. He had a father. And that father was Ethan Caldwell, one of the richest men in the city. What was he like? Before? His mom smiled, but it was a broken kind of smile. Brave. Funny. He wanted to fly helicopters for the Coast Guard, save people. We'd stay up all night planning our future. She looked down. And then his father died, left him a company. Suddenly he had responsibilities, a reputation to uphold. I didn't fit that picture anymore. Did you love him? So much it scared me. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Still does. Miles away, in a hotel suite that cost more per night than most people earned in a month, Ethan Caldwell stood at the window. He couldn't see the ocean from here, just buildings and lights, and the busy pulse of the city he'd helped build. None of it mattered anymore. He had a son, 19 years old, a helicopter pilot with his name and his face and his scar. A son he'd never held, never taught to ride a bike, never watched grow up. The pain was so sharp he could barely breathe. Boss? Lucas appeared in the doorway. His assistant was 35, efficient, and the closest thing Ethan had to a friend. You look terrible. What happened with the flight? Sit down. Ethan poured himself a drink, then another. I need to tell you something. Lucas listened without interrupting. That was one of the things Ethan appreciated about him. No judgment, No unsolicited advice, just attention. When Ethan finished, Lucas let out a low whistle. So you're saying you have a son, and you didn't know? I swear I didn't know, Lucas. If I'd known, I believe you. Lucas leaned back. But what are you going to do about it now? I don't know. Maya hates me. The kid doesn't even know who I am. Not really. He drank again. The alcohol burned but didn't help. I walked away from the best thing that ever happened to me, and I can't get it back. Maybe not. Lucas stood up. But you can start over if you want to. Start over? Lucas, he's 19. I missed everything. So don't miss anything else. His assistant headed for the door. Get some sleep. Figure out your next move in the morning when you're thinking clearly. But Ethan couldn't sleep, couldn't think clearly. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Maya, young Maya, laughing in his passenger seat as they drove nowhere in particular. Maya dancing in his dorm room to music only she could hear. Maya crying when he told her he had to take over his father's company, had to be responsible. I'll come back, he'd promised. Give me a year to get everything settled. Then we'll figure out our life together. But a year became 2. His phone calls went unanswered. When he finally drove back to their college town, her apartment was empty. Her friends said she'd moved away. No forwarding address. No way to find her. He'd told himself she'd moved on, found someone better, been relieved to escape him. Now he knew the truth. She'd been pregnant, alone, waiting for a man who came too late. The guilt was crushing. He grabbed his keys, drove through empty streets to Maya's neighborhood, found her building easily, a modest complex near the waterfront. Lights glowed in one window, 3rd floor. He watched shadows move behind the curtains. His son was up there, the child he'd never met, the life he'd never lived. He deserves to know, Ethan whispered to himself. He deserves to know I would have stayed. If I'd known, I would have stayed. He sat in his car until the lights went out. Then he drove back to his empty hotel room and didn't sleep at all. Morning came too bright and too loud. Ethan showed up at the heliport before 7. He wore jeans and a simple shirt, not his usual suit. He wanted to look approachable, human. Clara met him at the entrance. She studied him with sharp, knowing eyes. Mr. Caldwell, I assume you're not here for a pleasure flight? No, ma'am. He tried his best smile. I'm here for a safety review. After yesterday's incident, I want to make sure my pilot and aircraft were up to standard. Clara didn't buy it for a second. He could tell, but she nodded anyway. Your pilot is currently in Hangar 2 preparing for a test flight. He's a good kid, one of the best young flyers I've seen. She paused. Don't hurt him, Mr. Caldwell. Whatever happened between you and Maya, that boy is innocent. I know. His throat tightened. I just want to know him. Then go. Hangar 2. She pointed. But be careful. Maya's watching. Ethan found his son, Junior, he had to remember to call him Junior, doing a pre-flight check on a training helicopter. The kid moved with confidence, checked every gauge, every connection, every safety feature. Mind if I watch? Ethan kept his voice casual. Junior looked up. Surprise flickered across his face. Then something else. Curiosity, maybe. Sure. I'm just doing routine maintenance inspection. I used to fly, Ethan said. Long time ago. Really? Junior's face lit up. Mom never told me you were a pilot. The words hit Ethan like a hammer. Mom never told me. Because Maya hadn't told him anything. Probably wanted to erase Ethan from their story completely. I only flew for a couple years. Then life got in the way. He stepped closer. You're good, though. The way you handled that emergency yesterday, that takes real skill. Junior's cheeks darkened. Pride and pleasure mixing together. Thanks. I've been flying since I was 14. Mom got me lessons for my birthday. Of course she did, because Maya was a fighter. She'd given their son everything, even when she had nothing. Want to take me up? The words tumbled out before Ethan could stop them. I mean, if you're doing a test flight anyway, might be good to have a second set of eyes. Junior hesitated, glanced toward the maintenance bay where Maya was probably working. I don't know if that's a good idea, after yesterday and everything. I'll clear it with Clara. Ethan pulled out his phone. This is purely professional. Just 2 pilots making sure the aircraft is safe. That was a lie. Nothing about this was professional, but Junior nodded slowly. Okay, yeah, let's do it. They went up together. The sky was clear again, the ocean sparkling below. In the air, some of the tension melted away. Flying was pure, simple. Up here, it didn't matter who your father was or what mistakes you'd made. Only the stick in your hand and the wind under your blades. So, Junior said through the headset, were you and my mom serious back in the day? Ethan's hands tightened on the controls. Very serious. I loved her. present tense slipped out before he could catch it. I loved her more than I knew how to say. What happened? How could he explain 19 years of regret in a few words? I was stupid. I thought I had to choose between love and responsibility. I chose wrong. Junior was quiet for a moment. Then, she still has a picture of you. I found it once when I was a kid. She didn't know I saw it, but she does. In a box under her bed. Something broke open in Ethan's chest. Maya kept his picture. After everything, after all these years, a flock of birds appeared suddenly. Starlings, dozens of them, swirling in a dark cloud right in their path. "Watch out!" Ethan shouted. Junior yanked the stick right. The helicopter tilted sharply. Birds scattered around them, a blur of wings and panic. One hit the windshield, a sickening thump. But Junior kept control, leveled them out, guided them through. When they were clear, both men were breathing hard. "That was—" Ethan started. "Close." Junior laughed, shaky but real. "Too close. You saved us." "That was excellent flying." Junior looked over at him, really looked. And in his eyes, Ethan saw something that made his heart ache. Recognition, not of a stranger, but of something familiar, something shared. "You know," Junior said slowly, "you have the same habit I do. When you're nervous, you tap your left thumb on the stick 3 times. Ethan looked down. He was doing it right now. 3 quick taps. A nervous tic he'd had since he first learned to fly. "Yeah," he said softly, "I do." They landed in silence. A comfortable silence, though. When they climbed out, Ethan felt lighter than he had in years. This was his son, his boy. And maybe, just maybe, there was still a chance to be part of his life. Then Maya appeared. She stormed across the tarmac, fury radiating from every step. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" She grabbed Junior's arm. "I told you to stay away from him. Mom, we were just—" "I don't care." Her voice cracked. "You don't know him. You don't know what he's capable of." "That's not fair, Maya." Ethan stepped forward. "I'm not trying to manipulate him. I just wanted to fly with my—" "Don't!" She pointed at him. "Don't you dare call him that. You have no right." Junior pulled away from her. "What are you hiding, Mom?" "I'm not hiding anything. I'm protecting you." "From what? From him?" Junior looked between them. "He's my father. Don't I get to decide if I want to know him?" "You don't understand? Then explain it to me." His voice rose. "Explain why you never told me. Why you let me think I didn't have a dad. Why you're so angry at him." Maya's face crumpled. For a second, Ethan thought she might cry, but she pulled herself together, drew up straight, looked her son in the eye. "Because I loved him, and he left me, and I will not let him break your heart the way he broke mine." She turned and walked away. Junior stood frozen, staring after her. Ethan wanted to reach out, to comfort his son, to explain that he never meant to break anyone's heart, but the words wouldn't come, because Maya was right. He had left. He had broken her heart, and now his son was caught in the middle of a pain that started long before he was born. "I should go," Junior said quietly. I need to think." He left Ethan standing alone on the tarmac. The sun beat down. The ocean crashed against the shore, and Ethan Caldwell, who had everything money could buy, felt like the poorest man in the world. That night, Junior couldn't stop thinking. His small bedroom felt even smaller than usual, the walls pressed in. His mind raced with questions that had no good answers. He pulled out the old toolbox from under his bed. His mom kept family stuff in there, birth certificates, old report cards, photos from when he was little. He'd looked through it 100 times, but tonight he looked with different eyes. At the bottom, under everything else, he found an envelope, yellow with age. His fingers trembled as he pulled it out. The writing on the front said, "For Ethan." His heart stopped. His name, but not his handwriting. His mom's handwriting from a long time ago. He opened it. Inside was a photograph. His mom, younger than he'd ever seen her. She was smiling at the camera, one hand on her belly, a pregnant belly, and next to her stood a man with his arm around her shoulders. Mr. Caldwell, Ethan Caldwell, looking happy, looking in love. Junior stared at the photo until his eyes burned. This was proof, real, physical proof that they'd been together, that they'd been happy, that his father had wanted his mother once. So what happened? Why did it fall apart? He shoved the photo in his pocket and stormed out of his room. His mum was sitting on the couch, pretending to watch TV, but her eyes were red. She'd been crying. "Why didn't you tell me?" He held up the envelope. "Why did you hide this?" Maya's face went pale. "Where did you find that?" "Does it matter? It's addressed to him, to Ethan. Were you ever going to send it?" "I was going to." She stood up. But then I found out he was engaged to someone else, some society girl his family picked out. So I kept it. He was engaged? For about 5 minutes. She laughed bitterly. Called it off 2 weeks later. But by then I'd already decided. He'd made his choice, I'd make mine. Junior looked at the photo again. At his parents, young and hopeful and completely unaware of how everything would break. You should have told me. You should have let me decide if I wanted to know him. You were a child. I'm not anymore. His voice echoed off the walls. I'm 19 years old, Mum. The same age you were when you had me. If you were old enough to make decisions for both of us, then I'm old enough to make my own now. She reached for him. Junior, please. I need some air. He grabbed his keys. I'll be back later. Where are you going? I don't know. He was already at the door. Anywhere but here. He drove without thinking, let his car take him through empty streets until he ended up at the beach. The same beach where they'd crashed yesterday. Was that really only yesterday? It felt like a lifetime ago. He sat on the sand and watched the waves, tried to make sense of everything. His whole life felt like a lie, not because his mom had lied exactly, but because she'd hidden the truth. And truth and lies weren't always that different. The sun was just starting to rise when footsteps crunched behind him. Figured I'd find you here. Junior didn't turn around. He knew that voice. His father's voice. How did you know where I was? Lucky guess. Ethan Caldwell sat down next to him. Not too close. Just close enough. This is where I used to come when I needed to think. Back when I lived here. You lived here? In Ocean View? For 2 years. College. Ethan picked up a handful of sand and let it fall through his fingers. This is where I met your mom. She was in my engineering class. Smartest person in the room. Didn't take any nonsense from anyone. Junior almost smiled. That sounded like his mom. I fell in love with her in about 3 seconds, Ethan continued. Took me 6 months to get her to go out with me. Best 6 months of my life trying to impress her. Then what happened? Ethan was quiet for a long moment. The waves crashed. Seagulls called. The sun climbed higher. My father died. Left me his company, his debts, his responsibilities. He rubbed his face. I was 22 years old. I didn't know anything about business, but I had 200 employees depending on me. My family name to uphold. I thought I had to choose. Between the company and my mom. Between duty and desire. Between who I was supposed to be and who I wanted to be. Ethan looked at him finally. I chose wrong. I know that now. I knew it then too. But I thought I'd have time. I'd fix the company, make it stable, then come back for her, for us. But you didn't. I tried. I called. I wrote. No one answered. When I finally came back, she was gone. Her friends wouldn't tell me where. I hired a private investigator. He told me she'd left the country. Ethan's voice cracked. I thought she hated me so much she ran away to get away from me. Junior pulled out the photograph, handed it to his father. Ethan took it with shaking hands, stared at it like it was a holy relic. Where did you get this? She kept it all these years, in an envelope with your name on it. She was pregnant here. Ethan touched Maya's belly in the photo. She was pregnant with you, and I didn't know. God, Junior, if I'd known, would it have made a difference? The question came out harsh, bitter. Would you have come back? Yes. No hesitation. Yes. I would have dropped everything. The company, the money, all of it. For you, for her. Junior wanted to believe him, but it was hard. You say that now, but you didn't care enough to find out then. You're right. Ethan handed back the photo. I didn't. I was a coward. I let pride and fear stop me from fighting harder. And I lost 19 years with my son because of it. The word hit Junior in the chest. Son. His father called him son, not his name, not Junior. Son. You can't make up for 19 years, Junior said quietly. I know. Ethan stood up, brushed sand off his jeans. But maybe I can be there for the next 19 if you'll let me. He walked away, left Junior sitting alone on the beach as the sun painted the sky gold and pink. Junior looked at the photograph again, at the hope in his parents' faces, at the future they'd planned and lost. Maybe it wasn't too late to find it again. Days passed like syrup, slow and sticky and uncomfortable. Ethan showed up at the heliport every morning, not to fly, not to bother anyone, just to be there. He helped Tom and Ruby repair a damaged rotor, fixed a broken fuel line, got oil under his fingernails for the first time in years. The workers watched him suspiciously at first, rich guys slumming it with the mechanics. But he worked hard, didn't complain, learned their names and asked about their families. Slowly they softened. Maya avoided him. took her breaks when he wasn't around, ate lunch in her car. Junior watched the careful dance they did around each other, and his heart hurt. They were like magnets with the same charge, pushing away even when something pulled them together. Clara cornered Maya one afternoon in the office. "You need to talk to him." Clara's voice was gentle but firm. "And I mean really talk, not yell, not run away. Talk. I have nothing to say to him." "That's a lie and we both know it." Clara sat on the edge of the desk. "Maya, I've known you for 10 years. Watched you raise that boy alone. Watched you work yourself half to death to give him a good life. You're one of the strongest people I know. Then why are you telling me to give in?" "I'm not telling you to give in. I'm telling you to stop running." Clara folded her arms. "That man out there is trying. He's showing up every day, getting his hands dirty, trying to earn back what he lost. The least you can do is hear him out. He'll hurt Junior. Once the novelty wears off, he'll go back to his fancy life and forget about us. Maybe. Or maybe he's changed. People do that, you know. They grow up, learn from their mistakes." Clara's eyes were kind. "Don't punish him forever for being young and stupid once." Maya wanted to argue, but the words wouldn't come. Because part of her, a part she tried hard to ignore, wanted Ethan to stay, wanted him to prove her wrong, wanted to believe in second chances. From the window, she could see him working with Tom on a helicopter blade. His shirt was dirty. His hair was messy. He looked more like the boy she'd loved than the man who'd left her. "I'll think about it," she said finally. Clara smiled. "That's all I'm asking." The charity event happened on a Saturday. A local organization raised money to give underprivileged kids helicopter rides, see the city from above, make them feel special for a day. Clara had volunteered the heliport for the event. Junior signed up to pilot. So did 3 other flyers. But on the morning of the event, one pilot called in sick. "I need another volunteer," Clara announced to the crew. "Anyone?" Ethan stepped forward. "I'll do it." Maya, who was checking equipment nearby, froze. "No, I'm certified. I've logged over 1,000 hours." He looked at Clara, not Maya. "I can help." Clara glanced between them. "Maya?" Every instinct screamed at her to say no, to keep Ethan away from this, away from the kids, away from Junior. But Junior spoke up. "Let him fly, Mom. We need the help." She couldn't argue with that, not without looking petty, not without ruining the day for the kids who were already arriving, eyes bright with excitement. "Fine," she bit out. "But I'm doing the safety checks on your aircraft personally." "I wouldn't want it any other way," Ethan said. The event started at noon. Families lined up, kids bouncing with energy. Junior took the first group, 5 children and a nervous parent. He was brilliant with them, patient, funny, made them laugh and forget to be scared. Ethan watched from the ground, pride and sadness mixing on his face. "He's good with kids," Clara said, appearing beside him. "He gets that from Maya. She was always better with people than I was. He has your sense of humor, though. That dry wit that sneaks up on you." Ethan smiled. "Yeah? Oh yes. Just last week, he had the whole crew laughing about—" Clara stopped. "Well, you'll hear his jokes yourself soon enough." When it was Ethan's turn, he took up a group of excited 7-year-olds and one very quiet little girl. She sat in the back, clutching her seatbelt, eyes wide with fear. "It's okay to be scared," Ethan told her through the headset. "I was terrified my first time up." "Really?" Her voice was tiny. "Really? But then I realized something. Being scared just means you're doing something brave." The flight went smoothly. Ethan pointed out landmarks, told stories, made the kids laugh, and slowly the quiet girl smiled. By the time they landed, she was bouncing in her seat, begging to go again. Maya watched from the ground, watched Ethan high-five the kids as they climbed out, watched him crouch down to the little girl's level and tell her she was brave. Something in her chest cracked open, just a little. During a break, Junior's aircraft had a small technical issue, a sensor light flickering. Not dangerous, but it needed attention before the next flight. Junior radioed from the air. "The altitude sensor is acting up. Not sure what's wrong." Maya grabbed the radio, started walking him through diagnostics. But something in the reading didn't make sense. Ethan appeared at her elbow. "May I?" She hesitated, then handed him the radio. "Junior, it's Ethan. Try resetting the secondary altimeter. The switch is under the left panel, next to your knee." "Got it. Hold on." A pause, then, "That did it. Lights steady now. Thanks." "No problem. Bring her in easy. You're doing great." When Junior landed safely to applause from the waiting crowd, he climbed out grinning, ran straight to Ethan and Maya. "That was amazing. Did you see that one kid's face when we flew over the harbor?" He was talking to both of them, naturally, like they were both his parents, like this was normal. Maya's throat tightened. Junior looked so happy, so whole, with both of them there. Maybe Clara was right. Maybe she needed to stop running. That evening, Maya walked down to the docks. She needed to clear her head. The charity event had stirred up feelings she'd buried for years. Footsteps behind her. She knew who it was before she turned around. "Are you following me?" But there was no anger in her voice, just tiredness. "No, I walk here sometimes too." Ethan stopped a few feet away. "Can I join you, or should I leave?" She should tell him to leave, should protect her heart, should run. Instead, she said, "You can stay." They walked in silence for a while. The dock creaked under their feet. Boats bobbed in the water. The sun was setting, painting everything orange and gold. "You were good with those kids today," Maya said finally. "Thanks, so were you. The way you calmed down that boy who almost had a panic attack, that was impressive. I've had practice. Junior used to get anxious before flying. I learned how to talk him through it. You did an amazing job raising him." Ethan's voice was soft. "He's smart, kind, confident, everything I'm not." "That's not true, isn't it?" He stopped walking, looked at her. "I ran away when things got hard. You stayed. You fought. You gave him a life. I didn't have a choice. You had every choice. You could have—" He stopped, started again. "You could have given up, found parents for him, built a different life, but you didn't. You kept him, kept my son, even though I abandoned you both." The word abandoned hung between them. Heavy, true. "I tried to find you," she said quietly. "After graduation, I went to your family's house. Your mom told me you were engaged, getting married, that I was just a college fling you'd outgrown." Ethan went pale. "She told you that? 3 months pregnant, standing on her doorstep, and she told me to leave before the neighbors saw me. Said I was embarrassing the family." "God, Maya, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." His hands shook. "The engagement lasted 2 weeks. It was my mother's idea. She thought I needed stability. I told her I was in love with you. She said I'd get over it." "Did you? Get over it?" He looked at her, really looked at her, and in his eyes she saw the truth. No, not for a single day in 19 years. Her breath caught. The sunset painted his face in warm light. He looked like the boy she'd loved, the boy who'd held her hand and promised forever. "I went back to find you," he continued, 6 months after my father died, after I got the company stable. But you were gone. Your friends said you'd left the country. I hired a private investigator. He told me you'd moved to Canada. I was in California." Her voice broke. "Working as a mechanic at a small airport, raising our son. I never left the country. Then he lied. He took my money and lied to me." Ethan pressed his hands to his face. "God, if I'd known, if I'd looked harder. We can't change the past." She stepped closer. "We made our choices. We lived with them. And now we have to figure out what comes next." "What do you want to come next?" She didn't answer right away. The ocean whispered against the dock. Stars appeared overhead, one by one. "I want Junior to be happy," she said finally. "I want him to know his father. If you can promise me you won't leave him, that you'll stay, even when it's hard, then maybe we can find a way forward." "I promise." He moved closer. "Maya, I will spend the rest of my life making this right, making up for what I lost, what I cost us. You can't make up for 19 years. No, but I can be here for the next 19. And the 19 after that." His hand reached out, hesitated. "If you'll let me." She should pull away, should protect herself, should remember all the pain. But his hand was warm, and she was so tired of being angry. She took it. They stood there on the dock, holding hands like teenagers, watching the moon rise over the water. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was a start. Junior came home late that night, found his mom sitting at the kitchen table, staring at nothing. She looked different somehow. Softer, sadder, maybe both. "Where were you?" She didn't sound mad, just curious. "Studying for my commercial license exam. At the library." He grabbed a soda from the fridge. "What about you? You're never up this late." "Couldn't sleep." He sat across from her. "Mom, can I ask you something?" "Always." "Do you still love him?" "Ethan?" The question caught her off guard. She opened her mouth, closed it, tried again. "I don't know," she said honestly. "I love who he was, I hate who he became, and I'm confused about who he is now." "He's trying, Mom, really trying." "I know." She reached across the table, took his hand. "And if you want a relationship with him, I won't stop you. I promise. Even if it scares me." "Why does it scare you?" Because I'm afraid he'll hurt you, leave you, break your heart the way he broke mine. Junior squeezed her hand. I'm not a kid anymore, Mom. I can handle it if he leaves. But I can't handle not knowing him. Not trying. She nodded. I understand. Just be careful, okay? Guard your heart. What about you? He smiled a little. You going to guard yours? Too late for that, she muttered. But there was almost a smile on her face, too. They sat together in the quiet kitchen, mother and son both thinking about the same man, the one who'd brought them together, the one who'd torn them apart, the one who might, just maybe, stitch them back into something whole. The next morning, Tom and Ruby were gossiping again. Ethan heard them from across the hangar. Did you hear that Caldwell guy? He's worth millions. Billions, Tom. With a B. No way. Way. My cousin looked him up. He owns half the commercial real estate in the state. Ethan grimaced. He'd hoped to avoid that conversation, but gossip spread fast in a small workplace. Junior appeared in the office doorway. His face was red, angry. Is it true? He demanded. Are you actually a billionaire? Not a billionaire, just... Ethan trailed off. Yes, I have money, a lot of it. And you let her struggle? Junior's voice rose. You let Mom work herself to exhaustion? You let us live in a tiny apartment while you had mansions? I didn't know about you, but you knew about her. You could have looked harder, tried harder, done something other than sit in your fancy penthouse feeling sorry for yourself. Junior? No. He backed away. Don't. Just don't. You're not doing this because you care. You're doing it because you feel guilty. You want to buy your way into my life, throw money at the problem, and make it go away. That's not fair. Fair? Junior laughed harshly. Nothing about this is fair. He stormed off. Ethan wanted to follow, to explain, but Maya appeared, blocking his path. Let him go. Her voice was cold. He needs space. Maya, I swear, I wasn't hiding my money. You just what? Forgot to mention you're one of the richest men in the city? You think we're so stupid we wouldn't find out? I never thought you were stupid. I thought... He stopped. I don't know what I thought. I was trying to be normal, to connect without the money getting in the way. The money is always in the way, Ethan. She turned away. It was 19 years ago, and it is now. Some things never change. She left him standing there. Through the window, Ethan could see Junior climbing into his car, driving away fast. Too fast. Lucas appeared at his elbow. Well, that went well. Not now, Lucas. Boss, I told you this would be messy. Rich guy shows up claiming to be poor kid's long-lost father. It's like a bad movie. Of course they're suspicious. They have a right to be suspicious. I should have told them earlier. Probably. Lucas handed him his car keys. But beating yourself up won't help. Go find the kid. Talk to him. Be honest. What if he won't listen? Then you keep trying until he does. Isn't that what you told me? That you'd spend the rest of your life making this right? Lucas pushed him toward the door. Well, start now. Ethan found Junior at an old airfield on the edge of town. The place was abandoned except for a few training choppers. Junior was in one of them, engine running, looking like he might take off without clearance. Ethan ran across the field, banged on the door. Don't you dare! Junior glared at him through the glass, but he shut off the engine, climbed out. What do you want? I want to talk to you, really talk. No more running, no more avoiding, just truth. Fine. Talk. I'm sorry. The words came from deep in Ethan's chest. I'm sorry I didn't look harder. I'm sorry I have money and you grew up struggling. I'm sorry your mum had to work 3 jobs while I lived in luxury. I'm sorry I missed your first word, your first step, your first flight. I'm sorry for all of it. Junior's jaw was tight. Sorry doesn't change anything. No, it doesn't. But it's all I have. Ethan moved closer. You asked if I'm trying to buy my way into your life. I'm not. I'd give up every penny I have if it meant getting back the 19 years I lost with you, but I can't. Money can't fix this, so I'm here. Just me. No checkbook, no influence. Just a father who wants to know his son. Why now? Why after all this time? Because I didn't know before. Ethan's voice broke. Junior, I looked for your mum. I tried, but I was young and stupid, and I gave up too easily. I told myself she'd moved on, found someone better. I convinced myself it was too late. And then I saw you in that helicopter and I realized, it's not too late, it can't be. I won't let it be. Junior turned away. His shoulders shook. You're just going to leave again. Once you get bored. Once the novelty wears off, you'll go back to your real life and forget about us. I sold my company. The words hung in the air. Junior spun around. What? I sold my company. Most of it anyway. Kept a small share to live on, but I'm not running it anymore. I'm staying in Ocean View permanently. Why would you do that? Because you're here. Your mom is here, and I've spent 19 years building a business that meant nothing. It's time to build something that matters. Ethan's voice shook. A relationship with my son. Junior stared at him, searching for lies, for tricks, for any sign this wasn't real. He didn't find any. I don't know how to do this, Junior whispered. I don't know how to have a dad. I don't know how to be one, not to a 19-year-old. Ethan smiled sadly. But we can figure it out together, if you'll give me a chance. The silence stretched between them. Dawn was breaking, painting the airfield gold. Birds sang. The world woke up. Okay, Junior said finally. One chance, but if you screw this up, I won't. Ethan pulled something from his pocket. His old pilot badge, the one he'd worn when he first learned to fly, the one he'd treasured for years. This is for you. You've earned it. Junior took the badge with trembling hands. This was yours, and now it's yours. You're twice the pilot I ever was. Braver, better, everything I wanted to be. Ethan's voice cracked. I'm so proud of you, Junior. So damn proud. Junior looked at the badge, then at his father. Then slowly he smiled. It was the most beautiful thing Ethan had ever seen. The days that followed felt different, lighter, like someone had opened a window in a stuffy room. Junior started having coffee with Ethan every morning before work. They'd sit in the small cafe near the heliport and talk about flying, about life, about everything and nothing. Maya watched from a distance, saw her son laugh at his father's jokes, saw them lean over a napkin, sketching out aircraft designs, saw the way Junior's face lit up when Ethan praised something he'd done. It hurt, but it was a good hurt, the kind that came from healing, not breaking. One evening, Ethan showed up at her apartment with Chinese takeout. I brought too much food, he said when she opened the door. Thought you might help me eat it. She should say no, should protect her heart, should remember all the reasons this was dangerous. But the food smelled amazing, and she was tired of eating alone. Junior's at his friend's place tonight, she said, stepping aside to let him in. I know, he told me. Of course he did. Father and son were talking now, really talking. She should be happy about that. She was happy about that. So why did it also make her feel left out? They ate at her small kitchen table, the one she'd bought at a thrift store 10 years ago, the one with the wobbly legs she'd never quite fixed. She was suddenly aware of how shabby everything looked, how small, how different from the world Ethan came from, but he didn't seem to notice. Or if he did, he didn't care. He just ate his lo mein and asked about her day. Clara's talking about promoting me, she said. Head mechanic position, more money, better hours. That's wonderful, you deserve it. It's not much, not compared to... She stopped, looked down at her plate. Compared to what? Nothing. Never mind. But Ethan wasn't letting it go. You were going to say not much compared to what you have, and weren't you? She didn't answer, didn't need to. Maya. He reached across the table, stopped just short of touching her hand. I don't care about the money. I never did. What I cared about was you. What I care about is you. Present tense. Care. Not cared. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Don't, she whispered. Don't what? Don't say things like that. Don't look at me like that. Don't make me hope. Why not? Because. She stood up, started clearing plates even though they weren't done eating. Because hope is dangerous. Hope makes you stupid. Hope makes you believe in things that aren't real. I'm real. He stood too, followed her to the sink. This is real. Is it? Or is this just guilt? You trying to fix what you broke? Maybe it started as guilt, but that's not what this is anymore. His voice was rough, raw. I've been in love with you for 19 years, Maya. I tried to forget you, tried to move on. Dated other women, told myself you were just a memory. But you weren't. You were the only real thing in my entire fake life. She gripped the edge of the sink. Her knuckles went white. I've spent 19 years angry at you, she said quietly. Hating you. Using that hate to keep me strong, to keep me going. If I stop hating you, what do I have left? Love. He moved closer. She could feel his warmth behind her. You have love left. You never stopped loving me either. I can see it in your eyes. You're so arrogant, but there was no heat in it. I'm right. She turned around. They were inches apart. She could count his eyelashes, see the gold flecks in his brown eyes, smell his cologne, something expensive that probably cost more than her monthly rent. This is a bad idea, she breathed. Probably. We'll just hurt each other again. Maybe. I can't do this, Ethan. I can't let you in just to watch you leave. I'm not leaving. His hand came up, cupped her cheek. I sold my company, Maya. I bought a house here, 3 blocks from the beach. I'm staying. You bought a house? 2 bedrooms. Nothing fancy. Well, fancier than this, but not... He stopped, started over. I'm making a life here, a real life. With you, with Junior, if you'll have me. Tears burned her eyes. You can't just show up after 19 years and expect... I don't expect anything. I'm just asking for a chance. One chance to prove I've changed, that I've grown up, that I know what matters now. The apartment was so quiet, just their breathing, the hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of waves through the open window. One chance, she whispered. He smiled, slow and warm and beautiful. Then he leaned down and kissed her. It was soft at first, gentle, like he was afraid she might break, but she didn't break. She melted, opened up, kissed him back with 19 years of longing and anger and love all mixed together. Outside, rain started to fall. Thunder rumbled far away. The storm that had been building all day finally broke. Maya pulled back. Wait, what's wrong? This. She gestured between them. Us. What are we doing? I thought that was pretty clear. Don't joke. I'm serious. What happens tomorrow? Do we tell Junior? Do we pretend this didn't happen? Do we... We take it slow, Ethan said. We figure it out together. No pressure. No promises I can't keep. Just us. Trying. She wanted to say yes. Wanted to fall into his arms and pretend the past 19 years never happened. But life wasn't that simple. I need time, she said. To think. To process. This is all happening so fast. Disappointment flickered across his face, but he nodded. Take all the time you need. I'll be here when you're ready. He left. She stood in her kitchen, fingers touching her lips, feeling like a teenager again. Maybe that was the problem. They weren't teenagers anymore. They had history, scars, a son. Real life didn't come with do-overs, but maybe, just maybe, it came with second chances. Morning came with sunshine. The storm had passed. Everything looked clean and new. Maya was checking her mail when she found the letter. Official company letterhead. Her heart sank before she even opened it. Dear Ms. Brooks, due to company restructuring, your position is being relocated to our Sacramento facility. You have 2 weeks to accept the transfer or resign your position. Please contact HR to discuss relocation assistance. The words blurred. Sacramento. That was 500 miles away. A different state. A different life. She sat down hard on her couch. This job was everything. It paid her rent, supported Junior through flight school, gave her purpose. But Sacramento, that meant leaving the only home Junior had ever known, leaving the heliport where she'd worked for a decade, leaving Ethan just when they'd found each other again. Her phone buzzed. A text from Ethan. Coffee later? She stared at the message, then at the letter, then back at the message. She could tell him. He'd offer to help, probably offer to buy the whole damn company if that's what it took to keep her here. And that's exactly why she couldn't tell him. She texted back, busy today, rain check. But Ethan wasn't stupid. He noticed Maya pulling away, noticed the worry lines around her eyes, the way she avoided his calls. He showed up at her apartment that evening, knocked until she answered. What's wrong? No greeting, just concern. Nothing, I'm fine. You're a terrible liar, Maya Brooks. Always have been. He stepped inside without being invited. Talk to me. She wanted to. God, she wanted to. But pride held her tongue. He saw the letter on the coffee table, picked it up before she could stop him. His face went pale as he read. Sacramento, he said flatly. It's a promotion. Better pay. Better opportunities. Bullshit. It's not a promotion. It's a lateral transfer at best. He looked at her. You don't want to go. Doesn't matter what I want. I need the job. I can help. I can talk to the company, use my connections, keep you here. No. The word came out sharp, hard. No, Ethan, I'm not your charity case. I don't need you to rescue me. This isn't about rescue. It's about what? You playing hero? You using your money and power to fix my problems? She grabbed the letter back. I've been taking care of myself for 19 years. I don't need you to start now. That's pride talking. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm proud. Maybe I need to be proud. Because the minute I let you help me, I become dependent on you. And the minute I'm dependent on you, you have the power to destroy me again. The words hung between them like broken glass. Ethan's face went grey. Is that what you think? That I'd destroy you? You did it once. I was 22 years old. I made a mistake, one mistake, and I've apologized. I've changed my whole life. What more do you want from me? I want... She stopped, pressed her hands to her face. I don't know what I want. I want to not be scared. I want to trust you. I want to believe this is real. But every time I start to believe, something reminds me that you're you and I'm me, and maybe that's never going to work. So that's it? His voice cracked. You're going to run away? Take Junior and move 500 miles just to avoid me? I'm not avoiding you, I'm protecting myself. From what? From loving you. The confession burst out of her. From loving you and losing you again. From giving you my heart just so you can break it. I can't do it, Ethan. I survived losing you once, I won't survive it twice. Silence fell like snow, heavy and cold. Ethan moved to the door, stopped with his hand on the knob. I'm not going anywhere, Maya. Whether you're here or in Sacramento or on the moon, I'm not going anywhere. That's a promise, and when you're ready to believe it, I'll be waiting. He left. The door clicked shut behind him. Maya collapsed on the couch and cried until she had nothing left. 3 days passed. Maya avoided everyone. Avoided the heliport. Avoided Ethan. Even avoided Junior's questions with vague answers and fake smiles. The storm warning came on a Thursday. Tropical Storm Helen, upgraded to almost hurricane status. Expected to hit Ocean View that night. Clara called all staff to secure the aircraft. Emergency protocol. Everything had to be tied down, covered, protected. Maya showed up in her rain gear. The wind was already picking up. Dark clouds rolled across the sky like smoke. Junior was there too. So was Ethan. They worked together in tense silence, securing helicopters, closing hangar doors, checking fuel lines. "Everyone out by 6, Clara shouted over the wind. "I mean it! This storm is going to be bad!" By 5:30, most of the crew had left, but Maya stayed. One more aircraft to check, a test helicopter that had been up for inspection. It was still tethered in the open bay. "Mom, come on," Junior called. "It's getting worse. 5 more minutes, I just need to secure the rotors." Thunder cracked overhead. The wind suddenly doubled in strength. The tethered helicopter shifted, jerked against its cables. Maya ran toward it. "No, no, no!" One cable snapped, then another. The helicopter lifted slightly, spinning in the wind. "Maya, get away from it!" Ethan was running toward her, but she was already climbing inside. If she could start the engine, she could control it. Land it properly before the wind tore it apart. "What are you doing?" Junior's voice came through on the radio. "Get out! I can land it! Just give me—" The wind caught the helicopter like a toy, spun it, lifted it. Maya's stomach dropped as the ground fell away. She grabbed the controls, fought the wind. But this wasn't like flying, this was like drowning in air. No control, no stability, just chaos. "Maya!" Ethan's voice crackled through the radio. "Don't try to fight it, just hold on." "I can't." The helicopter spun, tilted. Warning lights flashed everywhere. "I can't control it." Lightning struck somewhere close. The radio cut out. Maya was alone in the storm, spinning toward the cliffs at the edge of the coast. She thought about Junior, about Ethan, about all the things she'd never said, never done, never allowed herself to believe in. "I'm sorry," she thought. "I'm so sorry." On the ground, Ethan and Junior stared at the sky. The helicopter was a dark spot against darker clouds, spinning wildly. "We have to do something." Junior grabbed his father's arm. "We have to help her. Get to your helicopter. Now!" Ethan was already running. "I'll take mine. We'll find her together." They scrambled into separate aircraft. Ethan's hands shook as he started the engine. The storm tried to keep him grounded. Wind buffeted the blades. Rain hammered the windshield. But Maya was up there, alone, scared. He'd lost her once through stupidity. He wouldn't lose her again through cowardice. "Junior, you read me?" He spoke into the radio. "I'm here. I'm following your lead. Stay on my right flank. Keep your altitude steady. We're going to find her and bring her home." They lifted off into hell. The storm grabbed them immediately, shook them, tried to throw them back down. But Ethan had been flying for 20 years, and Junior had inherited his skill, plus his mother's stubbornness. Together they pushed through the wind and rain. "There!" Junior's voice crackled. 3 o'clock, near the cliffs." Ethan saw it. The test helicopter, spinning slowly, drifting toward the rocks. One wrong gust, and Maya would crash. "I'm going in." He pushed forward. The wind pushed back. His helicopter groaned, shook, but he held steady. Through the rain-streaked windshield, he could see Maya's face. Pale, terrified, beautiful. "Hold on." He spoke into the radio, not sure if she could hear him. "I'm coming for you. I've got a line ready." Junior maneuvered above. He was brilliant, insane, but brilliant. He lowered a cable toward Maya's helicopter. Maya saw it, opened her door. The wind tried to suck her out. She grabbed the cable with both hands. "Hook it to your skid," Ethan shouted. "We'll tow you down." She nodded, worked fast. Her fingers were wet, shaking, but she managed to secure the line. "Got it," her voice came through, faint but clear. "I'm hooked. Junior, reel her in slowly. I'll guide from below." Father and son worked together. Ethan below, stabilizing. Junior above, pulling, and Maya in between, trusting them both to save her. The cliffs loomed closer, closer. 50 feet, 40, 30. "Faster!" Ethan's voice was ragged. "Pull faster!" Junior pulled. The cable groaned. Maya's helicopter lifted slightly, started moving away from the rocks. 20 feet, 15, 10. They cleared the cliffs with inches to spare. "Set her down in the open field," Clara's voice came through. She was in the command tower, watching through binoculars. "Due west, away from the buildings." They brought Maya down like a leaf on a string. Gentle, careful. Her skids touched grass. Settled. Ethan landed beside her. Junior landed on the other side. They both ran through the rain, not caring about lightning or wind or anything except getting to her. Maya climbed out on shaking legs, fell to her knees. Ethan reached her first, pulled her into his arms. She was soaked, trembling, alive. "You're okay," he whispered against her hair. "You're okay. You're okay." Junior crashed into them both, wrapped his arms around his parents. "Don't ever do that again. Don't ever scare me like that again." They held each other as the storm raged. 3 people who'd been apart too long, finally together, finally whole. They took shelter in the maintenance hangar. Clara brought blankets. Tom made coffee. Ruby kept checking Maya for injuries, even though she kept insisting she was fine. She wasn't fine. She was shaking so hard her teeth chattered. Ethan wrapped another blanket around her shoulders, sat beside her, didn't say anything, just stayed close. Junior paced. "That was the stupidest thing you've ever done. You could have died." "I know," Maya said quietly. "I'm sorry." "Sorry?" His voice cracked. "You're sorry? Mom, I almost lost you." "I know, baby. I know." She held out her arms. He came to her like he was 5 years old again. Let her hold him. "I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking clearly." Over Junior's head, she looked at Ethan, really looked at him. His face was pale. His hands were still shaking. He looked like he'd aged 10 years. "Thank you," she mouthed. He shook his head. "Don't thank me. Just stay alive." The storm howled outside. Inside, they were safe, together. That was all that mattered. When Junior finally calmed down, Clara sent him home with Tom. "Your mum needs rest. Come back tomorrow." Junior hesitated, looked between his parents. "You'll take care of her?" "Yes," Ethan said. "I promise." After Junior left, the hangar felt bigger, emptier. Just Ethan and Maya and the echo of rain on the metal roof. "I'm scared," Maya said suddenly. "Of the storm? Of this? Of us?" She pulled the blanket tighter. "When I was up there, spinning out of control, all I could think was, I wasted 19 years being angry. 19 years pushing you away, and for what? For pride? For fear? Maya, I'm not done." She turned to face him. "I've been so afraid of losing you again that I never let myself have you. But when I thought I was going to die, I realized I'd rather have you and lose you than never have you at all." His breath caught. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I'm done running. I'm done being scared. I'm done letting the past control my future." She took his hand. "I got the letter about Sacramento, and I was going to take it, going to run away rather than risk my heart. But that's not living. That's just surviving, and I'm tired of surviving. You don't have to take that job. I know you can help. I know you'd buy the whole company if I asked, but I don't want you to." She smiled. "I want to figure it out myself. Maybe get a loan to start my own shop. Maybe partner with Clara. I don't know yet, but I know I'm not leaving, not anymore." "Why not?" "Because you're here. Junior's here. My whole heart is here." She cupped his face. "I love you, Ethan Caldwell. I never stopped, and I'm done pretending I did." He kissed her then, deep and desperate and real, like he was drowning and she was air, like she was the only thing in the world that mattered, because she was. "I love you," he breathed between kisses. "God, Maya, I love you so much. Show me." She pulled him closer. "Show me you're staying. Show me this is real. I sold my company. I bought a house. I'm learning to be a father. What else can I do? Just stay." Her voice broke. "Just stay with me. Through the storms. Through the fear. Through everything. Just stay. Always, he promised. For the rest of my life, I'm staying. The storm outside began to fade. The wind calmed. The rain softened to a gentle patter. Inside the hangar, two people who'd been lost for 19 years finally found their way home, to each other. The week after the storm felt like waking up from a long, bad dream. Ocean View City cleaned up debris, fixed broken windows, replanted torn-up trees. The whole town came together. Neighbor helping neighbor, stranger helping stranger. At the heliport, things were different too. Better, lighter. Maya and Ethan worked side by side, repairing aircraft damaged in the storm. Their hands brushed as they passed tools. Their eyes met across engine parts. Small smiles, soft touches, nothing dramatic, just real. Junior watched them with a grin he couldn't quite hide. "You two are being weird," he announced one afternoon. "Weird how?" Maya asked, not looking up from the rotor she was fixing. "Weird like teenagers, blushing and giggling and making googly eyes." "I do not make googly eyes," Ethan protested. "You absolutely do," Clara called from across the hangar. "It's adorable and nauseating at the same time." Everyone laughed, even Ethan. The sound filled the space like music. Later, when they were alone, Ethan pulled Maya aside. "I have something to show you. Can you take a break?" "I shouldn't. We're behind on—" "It'll take 20 minutes, please." She saw something in his eyes, something nervous and excited and a little scared. "Okay, 20 minutes." They drove through town in his car, not the expensive one he'd arrived in, a normal sedan, reliable, practical. Maya noticed he'd changed in small ways, wore jeans more than suits, ate at diners instead of fancy restaurants, stopped checking his phone every 5 minutes. He was trying, really trying to build a different life. They pulled up to a house 3 blocks from the beach. Small, 2 stories, blue paint with white trim, a little porch, a yard that needed work but had potential. "This is it," Ethan said quietly. "My house. I bought it last week." Maya looked at the house. Really looked. It wasn't a mansion, wasn't impressive or showy, it was just a home, a real home. "It needs paint," Ethan continued, talking fast, "and the kitchen is outdated, and the roof probably needs replacing soon, but it's got good bones. And there's a workshop in the garage that I thought maybe you could use if you wanted to start your own business. No pressure, just a thought." She turned to him. "You bought a house with a workshop for me. I bought a house near you. The workshop was just lucky." He smiled nervously. "Want to see inside?" It was beautiful. Not fancy, but warm. Hardwood floors, big windows, a kitchen that smelled like fresh paint, 2 bedrooms upstairs, and a small study that overlooked the ocean. "What do you think?" Ethan asked. Maya walked through the rooms slowly, touching walls, looking out windows, imagining a life here, imagining waking up to ocean views and falling asleep to wave sounds, imagining waking up next to Ethan. "I think it's perfect," she said finally. His whole face lit up. "Yeah? Yeah." She moved closer to him. "I think you did good. I had good motivation." He wrapped his arms around her waist. "I wanted to build something real, something that would make you want to stay. I already told you I'm staying. I know, but I wanted you to know I'm serious. This isn't a game or a phase. This is my life now. You're my life now." She kissed him, soft and sweet and full of promise. "Show me the workshop." The garage had been converted into a beautiful workspace. Clean concrete floors, excellent lighting, tool benches along the walls, space for equipment. "Clara helped me design it," Ethan admitted. "She told me what a good mechanic shop needs. I tried to get everything right." Maya's eyes burned with tears. "This must have cost—" "Don't." He touched her cheek. "Don't think about money. Think about possibilities. Think about what you could build here. Your own business. Your own future. I'm not trying to control you or make you dependent. I'm trying to give you options." "Why?" Her voice came out whisper soft. "Why do all this?" "Because I love you. Because I owe you 19 years of support I didn't give. Because I want you to have everything you deserve." He pulled her close. "And because watching you follow your dreams is the most beautiful thing I can imagine." She cried then. Happy tears. Grateful tears. Tears for the girl she'd been, and the woman she'd become, and the future that finally felt possible. That evening, Maya and Ethan told Junior everything. About the house, about the workshop, about their plans to really try this relationship. They sat at Maya's kitchen table, all 3 of them, and talked until midnight. "So you're really staying?" Junior asked his father. "You're not going to get bored and leave?" "I'm really staying. I sold my company. I bought a house. I'm building a life here." Ethan looked at Maya, then back to his son. I'm building a life with you, both of you, if you'll have me. Junior was quiet for a moment. Then, I have conditions. Okay, Ethan said carefully. First, no more lies. No more secrets. We talk about everything, even the hard stuff. Agreed. Second, you have to come to my license exam next month and my first commercial flight, and every important thing from now on. I'll be there, I promise. Third, Junior's voice got softer. You have to teach me about my grandfather. Your dad, I never got to meet him, but I want to know where I come from, both sides. Ethan's eyes went bright. I'd be honored. And fourth, Junior looked at his mother. You both have to stop being scared. I'm not a kid anymore. You don't have to protect me from your relationship. If you love each other, just love each other. I can handle it. Maya laughed through tears. When did you get so wise? I had a good teacher. He took both their hands. You both made mistakes, but you're here now. You're trying. That's what matters. They sat together in comfortable silence. A family. Not perfect, but real. Finally, whole. 2 weeks later, Clara gathered the heliport crew in the main hangar. I have an announcement, she said. As you know, the storm damaged several of our aircraft. Repairs are expensive. The company is considering closing this location. Worried murmurs rippled through the crowd. However, Clara continued with a small smile, we've received a generous offer. Someone wants to buy the facility and turn it into something new, an aviation school and charter service. They've asked me to stay on as operations manager. Everyone started talking at once. Who was buying it? What would happen to their jobs? Would they all be laid off? Clara held up her hand. The new owners want to keep everyone who wants to stay. In fact, they're planning to hire more staff. They believe in this place, in this community. She paused. Maya, Ethan, Junior, would you like to say a few words? The three of them stood up. Maya's heart was pounding. They'd been planning this for days, but saying it out loud made it real. We're buying the heliport, Ethan said simply. Maya, Junior and I. Equal partners. We're turning it into Brooks Air, an aviation school, charter service, and maintenance facility. Brooks Air? Tom asked. As in Brooks, Maya's name? It's Junior's name too, Maya said, and it represents what we want to build. A place where anyone can learn to fly, regardless of their background. Where kids who dream of the sky can make those dreams real. We're offering scholarships, Junior added, his voice gaining confidence, for underprivileged kids, for single parents, for anyone who has the passion but not the money, because everyone deserves a chance to fly. The crew erupted in applause. Ruby wiped her eyes. Tom clapped so hard his hands turned red. Clara smiled like a proud mother. When do we start? Someone called out. Today, Maya said. If you're willing, we have a lot of work to do. The next month blurred by in a whirlwind of paint and paperwork and planning. They repainted the hangars, installed new equipment, built classrooms for ground school, created a lounge where students could study and pilots could rest between flights. Junior led the charge on designing the curriculum. Ethan handled the business side, licensing, insurance, marketing. Maya oversaw all mechanical operations and hired 2 more mechanics. They worked from dawn until dark, fell into bed exhausted, woke up excited to start again. One evening, Ethan found Maya alone in the workshop at his house. She'd been spending more time there, slowly moving her tools over, claiming the space as her own. Hey, he said softly, it's late. You should rest. I'm almost done with this fuel line, just need to... She stopped, looked up at him. What? Nothing, just watching you work. He leaned against the doorframe. You're beautiful when you're focused. She laughed. I'm covered in grease. Still beautiful. She set down her tools, walked over to him, wrapped her arms around his waist. Thank you. For what? For this. For the workshop. For Brooks Air. For giving me room to build something that's mine. Ours, he corrected. It's ours. All 3 of us. Ours, she agreed. Then softer. I never thought I'd be this happy. Never thought I'd get a second chance at everything. Me neither. He kissed the top of her head. But I'm not wasting it. Not one single day. She pulled back to look at him. Move in with me. What? Move in with me. Into my apartment. Or I'll move in here. I don't care which. But I'm tired of sleeping alone. Tired of saying goodnight at my door and watching you drive away. Move in with me. Ethan's heart hammered. Are you sure? What about Junior? Junior's 19. He'll be fine. She smiled. Actually, he suggested it. Said watching us dance around each other was exhausting. He said that? He said that. Ethan laughed, picked her up and spun her around. Yes, absolutely yes. They decided on his house, more room, better location, and Maya loved the ocean view. Junior helped them move Maya's things over one Saturday. They worked together, carrying boxes and furniture, arguing playfully about where things should go. "The couch looks better by the window," Maya insisted. "But then you can't see the TV," Junior pointed out. "We don't need a TV when we have that view." "Mum, we absolutely need a TV for important things like football." "You don't even like football." "I'm trying to bond with my dad." Ethan laughed so hard he had to sit down. This was family. This was home. Not the furniture or the house or the stuff, but the people, the love, the ridiculous arguments about couch placement. That night, after Junior left, Ethan and Maya stood on the porch watching the sunset. "I can't believe this is real," Maya said. "Sometimes I'm afraid I'll wake up and it'll all be a dream." "It's real." He wrapped his arms around her from behind. "We're real. I love you." The words came easily now. No fear, no hesitation, just truth. "I love you too." He turned her around. "Maya Brooks, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. Then, now, and forever." She kissed him as the sun disappeared into the ocean, as the sky turned pink and orange and gold, as the whole world glowed with possibility. The grand opening of Brooks Air happened on a perfect Saturday morning. Half the town showed up, families with excited children, teenagers dreaming of flight school, local business owners supporting the new venture. Even the mayor came to cut the ribbon. Maya stood with Ethan and Junior in front of the main hangar. New paint gleamed. The sign Brooks Air in elegant letters caught the sunlight. "Ready?" Clara asked, holding enormous scissors. "Ready," they said together. The ribbon fell. Applause erupted. Children ran forward to tour the helicopters. Adults asked about charter services and flight lessons. It was chaos. It was beautiful. It was everything they'd dreamed of. Junior gave a short speech to the crowd. His voice was steady, confident. "Brooks Air isn't just a business. It's a promise. A promise that the sky belongs to everyone, that dreams don't require money or status or a perfect family. Just courage, just heart, just the willingness to try." He looked at his parents. "My mom taught me that. She raised me alone, worked 3 jobs, never gave up. She showed me that strength isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "And my dad," Junior paused. "My dad taught me that it's never too late to make things right, that mistakes don't define you. What you do after the mistake, that defines you." He could have stayed away, could have let pride keep him from being part of my life, but he didn't. He showed up. He stayed. He proved that love is a choice you make every single day. Ethan had to look away, couldn't let the crowd see him cry. So welcome to Brooks Air, where second chances take flight, where families come together, where the sky is just the beginning. More applause, more cheers. Junior stepped down and his parents wrapped him in a hug. "That was perfect," Maya whispered. "I meant every word," Junior said. They spent the day giving tours and answering questions. Tom and Ruby flew demonstration flights. Clara handled paperwork for new students. Ethan charmed potential investors. And Maya moved through it all with a smile that wouldn't quit. This was hers and her family's. Something they'd built together, something real and lasting and good. As the sun began to set, they took one final flight. The 3 of them, Maya, Ethan, and Junior, flying in formation over Ocean View City, over the beaches and buildings and the heliport that had brought them together. "This is perfect," Maya said through the headset. "Right here, right now, this moment." "Yeah," Junior agreed. "It really is. I wish we could stay up here forever," Ethan said. "We can't stay up forever," Maya replied, "but we can keep coming back together. That's what family means, not staying in one perfect moment, but creating new ones, over and over." They flew until the sky turned purple, until stars appeared, until the city below sparkled with lights. Then they came home, together. 3 months later, on a quiet evening in November, Ethan made dinner. Nothing fancy, just spaghetti and salad. But he'd been practicing, wanted to get better at the simple things. The everyday things that made a house a home. Junior was there, as he often was these days. He'd moved into the spare bedroom in the house. Not permanently, but often enough that they'd started calling it his room. They ate together at the kitchen table, the one from Maya's old apartment. She'd insisted on bringing it, wobbly leg and all, said it had good memories. "I got my commercial license results today," Junior said casually. Maya and Ethan both stopped eating. "And?" Maya asked. "I passed." His grin was enormous. "Top scores in my class. I'm officially a commercial pilot. They jumped up together, hugged him, congratulated him. Maya cried, happy tears. Ethan kept clapping him on the back. I'm so proud of you, Ethan said, his voice thick. So damn proud. Couldn't have done it without you guys, either of you. Junior looked at them. You know that, right? Mom, you gave me the foundation, the work ethic, the belief I could do anything. And Dad, you gave me the confidence, the technical knowledge, the push I needed to believe in myself. You did this yourself, Maya said firmly. We just supported you. The talent, the dedication, the heart, that's all you. They celebrated with ice cream and terrible jokes and laughter that echoed through the house. Later, after Junior left to meet friends, Ethan and Maya sat on the porch. The ocean whispered in the darkness. Stars scattered across the sky like diamonds. We did it, Maya said softly. We actually did it. Raised an amazing kid, built a business, found our way back to each other. You did most of it, Ethan said. I just showed up at the end. You showed up when it mattered. That's what counts. She leaned against him. I used to think love was about grand gestures, dramatic promises, big moments. But it's not. It's this. It's sitting on a porch, making dinner, celebrating your kid's success. It's choosing each other every single day. I choose you, Ethan said. Every day for the rest of my life. Good, she kissed him. Because you're stuck with me now. Best trap I ever walked into. They sat in comfortable silence. Two people who'd been broken and lost and afraid. Two people who'd found their way back to each other through storms and pain and forgiveness. Two people who'd learned that love doesn't die. It just waits, patient and stubborn and strong, waiting for the moment when hearts are finally ready to try again. 6 months later, Brooks Air was thriving. They had 40 students enrolled, 5 full-time pilots, 8 support staff. The charter service was booked solid every weekend. And the scholarship program? 10 kids were learning to fly for free. Kids who'd never dreamed they'd get this chance. Kids like Junior had been. Kids who just needed someone to believe in them. On a warm evening in May, the extended Brooks Air family gathered for dinner at the house. Clara and her husband, Tom and Ruby. Lucas, who'd become friends with everyone. Even the mayor, who'd become a regular customer. They ate on the porch. Fresh fish that Ethan had learned to grill. Salad from Maya's garden. Wine and laughter, and stories that grew taller with each telling. Junior stood up to make a toast. To second chances, he said, raising his glass. To family. To the courage it takes to forgive. To the strength it takes to change. And to love. The real kind that doesn't quit, even when things get hard. To Brooks Air, someone called. To us, someone else added. To the sky, Tom shouted, a little drunk. Everyone laughed and clinked glasses. Maya looked around at the people gathered on her porch. Her porch, in her house, with her family. This life she'd built from broken pieces. She felt Ethan's hand find hers under the table, felt Junior's shoulder bump against hers, felt the warm night air and the sound of ocean waves and the love that filled every corner of this space. You okay? Ethan whispered. More than okay. She squeezed his hand. I'm happy. Really, truly happy. Me too. Later, after everyone left and Junior went to bed, Maya and Ethan stood at their bedroom window. The moon was full. The ocean gleamed silver. Do you ever think about what would have happened, Ethan asked, if I'd never gotten in that helicopter that day? If we'd never found each other again? Sometimes, Maya admitted. But then I stop, because that's not what happened. We did find each other. And maybe that's the real miracle. Not that we fell in love in the first place, but that we fell in love again. Harder, deeper, wiser. No more secrets? He asked. No more secrets. She turned to face him. No more running. No more fear. Just us. Just love. Just truth. Just us, he agreed. For all the years we have left. They held each other as the moon rose higher, as the ocean sang its eternal song, as their hearts beat in rhythm, steady and strong and sure. Outside, the sign for Brooks Air glowed softly in the night. A beacon, a promise, a dream made real. Inside, a family slept. A family that had been broken and scattered and lost. A family that had found its way back together through courage and forgiveness and stubborn, relentless love. And in the morning they would wake up and choose each other again. And the morning after that, and the one after that, because love doesn't die, it doesn't give up, it doesn't quit, it just waits. Patient and fierce and true, waiting for hearts to be brave enough to try again. And when they do, when they finally let go of fear and reach for hope, that's when the real story begins. That's when love takes flight. The end.